Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to my lightning cable shootout video. A few years ago I started a drone company, and one of the integral parts of my drone company is an iPad that I'm kind of forced to use. It's alright, I like it. I didn't at first, but I digress. One of the things I found is that there are a bevy of lightning cables that one can purchase. Now for my purposes, for a long time, I just purchased a short 1-foot cable, and that worked great. It worked perfectly as a data cable and a charging cable. But then I started doing these mapping gigs, and I kind of got tired of holding the remote control for, hours a day. And I thought to myself, why not put the remote control on a stand so that way I don't have to hold it in my hand all day. After all, the flights were automated, so there was really no reason for me to hang on to the controller. So I put the controller on a stand, and I found I was able to raise the stand up to about 8 or 9 feet, which really helped with reception between the controller and the bird. The problem was I wanted to keep the iPad with me so that I could keep an eye on operations, keep an eye on the battery, make sure the drone was taking photos, etc. So obviously I needed a longer lightning cable. Figure no problem, I'll just buy a longer lightning cable. Well, unfortunately it wasn't that simple. The Phantom 4 controller not only passes data between the iPad and the controller, but it also charges the iPad, which is great because I can set up a charger with the remote control, and then the remote control charges the iPad, and I can essentially work all day without having to worry about charging the controller or the iPad. At first I explored the eBay market and the cheap Chinese lightning cables. They looked really good. The quality of them, the build, everything looked great. I liked that they were flat wound cables, which made them really easy to wind up and store and then unwind and use. Unfortunately, they're very inconsistent. Some would pass data in some situations, some would pass some current, enough current to keep the iPad from discharging, but they wouldn't actually charge the iPad. I needed something that would charge the iPad. Of all the Chinese cables I purchased, and there was a bunch of them, not a single one met that criteria. Unfortunately, I found that most of the 6-foot and longer cables that I purchased would not charge the iPad. Not only that, but I found that data-wise they were very inconsistent. Like some would pass data from the controller to the iPad just fine, but then they wouldn't pass data from, say, my computer to the iPad or from the iPad to my computer. Finding inconsistencies with the cables kind of scared me. I didn't want to get out in the field and find that, oh, okay, well, the cable doesn't pass data today. I wanted a cable that consistently charged and consistently passed data in all situations. So, of course, like most of you, I went to the Apple website and I discovered the longest cable they have is 2 meters, which is a little over 6 feet, which wasn't quite long enough. I needed something closer to 10 or 12 feet. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. I mean, after all, we do control a rover on Mars from Earth remotely. Certainly we can build a lightning cable longer than 10 feet, right? No, apparently we can't. There was a glimmer of hope via a company called Noise, who boasted that they made a 4-meter, 12-foot cable. Of course, I checked out Amazon, and I was disappointed to find out that I couldn't find any there. So then I checked out eBay, and like Amazon, eBay was devoid of Noise cables. So then I looked for the Noise website. They gotta have a website, right? Unfortunately not. The Google search turned up Amazon, eBay, some reviews, but no Noise website. So it looks like Noise was defunct and out of the running. Okay, plan B. Settle for a 3-meter cable, or 10 feet. That search was much more successful. I actually found a bevy of aftermarket companies that produce high quality 3-meter cables. I thought I'll just buy one of each, I'll try them all and see which one I like best. If you're wondering why McDodo isn't on that list, it's because they don't make a 3-meter cable. I did buy their 2-meter cable and it tested out great, but I really need a 3-meter cable. The first cable to arrive was the Nomad ballistic cable, made with 1000D nylon, whatever the hell that is. It also comes with a 5-year warranty. It is tested to 10,000 flexes, and according to them, it's mil spec. The cable is braided, which I like, but it's kind of thick, so it's a little difficult to store away, but that's not a big deal. This is definitely a high quality cable. It felt high quality, the connectors are high quality, everything about this cable is first class. It should at a $28 premium. As you can see, the Nomad cable is passing 1550 milliamps or 1.55 amps. That's pretty good. It did charge my iPad and it did work in all situations. Next cable up is the 10-foot monoprice cable, and as you can see, the monoprice cable passes data just fine. But does she charge? And it looks like she does charge the iPad, and it passes a good amount of current. So now we plug the monoprice cable into the USB 3.0 port, and it looks like the iPad is seen in iTunes with no problem. So now let's try the USB 2.0 port. And same story. She is seen by iTunes. Perfect. The final cable in the shootout is the anchor cable, and of course it charges, and it works fine in all other environments regarding charging and passing data. Where this one seems to have a little bit of an advantage is it seems to pass a little more current than the other cables. This one passes almost 2 amps. So that's pretty darn good. So as you can see, I basically had 3 tests I wanted these cables to pass. I wanted them to work perfectly on my Phantom 4 Pro, passing data and charging. I also wanted them to work on a USB 2.0 port and a USB 3.0 port on my computer with iTunes. I found that some cables worked on USB 2.0 and some didn't work on 3.0, but across the board, the 3 high-end aftermarket cables that I tested passed all tests. So now it's just a matter of comparing costs, the amount of current they passed, different form factors, what did I like, dislike, etc. Okay, so let's summarize all 3 cables that we tested. The first cable was the Nomad cable. On the positive side, it has the ballistic 1000D nylon, whatever that is, has a 5-year warranty. Apparently it's the only cable with a 5-year warranty. It's tested to 10,000 flexes, it's mil spec, it's braided, and it passes 1.5 to 1.6 amps of current. It comes with a really cool cable tie. Those are the positives. The negative, it was by far the most expensive cable, $27.49 on eBay. It was kind of bulky and stiff, which is not a big deal. What is a big deal, it's only available in black, which made it kind of a trip hazard. I tried to put these little day-glow flags on it to keep me from tripping over it, but I have a feeling that having a black-only cable is going to be a problem in the field. Next cable up is the anchor cable. It came in second place price-wise at $17.54 via eBay. It comes with a pair of Velcro cable ties. I don't really like the Velcro cable ties, to be honest with you. I like the cool rubber ones that came with the Nomad. The anchor cable came in first place regarding the amount of current it would handle. It handled 2 amps of current. Even though it's not a braided cable, it's a smooth cable, but it was about as thick as the Nomad cable. I really have nothing negative to say about the anchor other than the crappy Velcro cable ties. And finally, the third cable is the monoprice. This came in first place price-wise at $10.16 via eBay. The current that I was able to pass through it was 1.7 to 1.8 amps, and it has a smooth surface. It was the thinnest of the 3 cables, which I consider an advantage. So now for the negatives, it comes with no cable ties. So the winner is, drum roll please, the monoprice. I base this judgment on the low cost of the cable and the high quality. I'd say the ratio of quality to cost was the best of all 3 cables tested. Worth noting, it didn't come with a cable tie, which kind of sucks, but that's not a big deal. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe. It's free, and these videos cost thousands of dollars to produce. Thousands of man hours. It's insane. Have a good one.